everyone, welcome back to episode 6 of Tech Talk. I'm Michelle and I'm with my co-host
Ryan.
This is continuing our conversation of deep dive in Google Gemini. Today we're going to explore Gemini advanced capabilities in dealing with Google Sheets.
Yes, hello everybody. So first, let's look at the free version of Gemini, which is publicly available now. And as you can see, they're wishing me hello and how they can help me today. And there's pretty basic asks here. And then when I go to the additional uploads, all I can do is upload an image. And so, however, when we switch over to Gemini Advanced, which is our premium feature, you can already see the increased complexity of the asks. Look, they're asking for Newton's laws for beginners that they can describe, or draft a cover letter based on a resume. So you can insert a PDF of your resume and it can write out a cover letter for you.
Maybe I'll check out this active listening and empathy later.
Yes, exactly. If you're having a hard time listening to me ramble on and on, you can improve your daily interactions here with Gemini. And then for adding files, there's additional features. So not only can we upload an image, but we can actually upload these documents, data files, PDFs, as well as gain access to all of our Drive files that we have previously saved, such as our Google Sheets and documents. So today we're specifically going to dive into how we can integrate Google Sheets into Gemini. And Michelle has generated a mock data set for us to play around with today.
I can't take full credit of this mock data. I actually asked Gemini to make this data for me. So I said, give me a list of friends with hobbies and their preference of operating system for their phone, iOS versus Android, and a friend group of one person. Not all of them know each other, but they all know it's one person. So Gemini have made this mock data for me. So column A has a list of names, and there are 25 people in total here.
This Emily Davis is very popular. She knows a lot of people.
Column B has their respective hobbies. So just by general, just on the first look, they have a diverse range of hobbies and they don't necessarily overlap with each other. Column C has their operation system preference, iOS or Android. And again, it seems like the preference is split pretty evenly. And their relationship to others. So Emily Davis is the main person that knows everyone, and everyone else all have a relationship to Emily, but
it's like that whole 7 degrees of separation type of deal.
So we're going to do some analysis of this mock data today.
So one of the first things that we did was just ask for general trends of the data sheet. So we went through this process here and uploaded the Google Sheet from Drive into the document. And then we simply asked, please look for trends in the attached spreadsheet and provide a summary of the information. The summary should be presented in bullet point form and provide a few sentence descriptions for each. And so what we got from this was clearly the ability of Gemini Advanced to be able to integrate all the information from the spreadsheet and summarize it into a nice bullet point form. And just going back and forth between looking at this here versus looking at something like this where we have this spreadsheet of all this text, for me it's a lot easier to actually just look at this type of a summary. So I really enjoy this feature.
Yeah, so immediately the answer demonstrates that Gemini Advanced is reading the data correctly. It says the data appears to be a list of friends, their hobbies, preferred mobile operating system, iOS or Android, and their relationship to others in the group. And they gave 3 bullet points.
Yeah, so they're showing some of the trends is that there's a balanced preference between iOS and Android users. They talk about this diverse relationship because there's a lot of different shared activities, introductions of friends through others, mutual friends and everything. They're not all related to each other through
Mm-hmm.
one particular event. And they all seem to have an active lifestyle. So Gemini has really, positive viewpoint of people in friend groups, that they're active, dancing, cycling, singing, and everything else.
Yeah, like I don't see a lot of Netflix and chill here on
No,
their hobby
exactly.
list.
Yeah, so these are a great group of people that, I would like to be a part of this friend group too. And I, of course, would be one of the Android users.
I thought you're more like a Netflix guy.
Well, no, I mean, I like hiking and all these other things,
Okay.
but not so much the singing and dancing. Although you should see our video from last week where we debuted our singing of Frosty the Dough Man.
Frosty the Dough
All
Man.
right, cut. So, so from this information, we can then start asking some other questions, such as give us a visual representation of these Android versus iOS.
Yeah, because what would you do with a spreadsheet? You plot them.
Exactly, you plot the data. And so what's really cool is that we can ask for a histogram of the data from the attached information, and then we even can specify different colors. So we wanted blue to be for iOS and Android to be green.
Yeah, and we told Gemini how we want this graph to be made. So the y-axis is the number of users, and the x-axis is iOS or Android. And then we assign the colors specifically representing the discourse of blue bubbles versus green bubbles
Exactly.
battle.
Exactly. And so it's pretty cool. It's able to plot this simple data here and give us a visual representation and a graph. And another thing that's really neat is various things you can do. You can download this as an image, but you can also go through and customize the chart. So let's say you didn't want a vertical bar chart, you could change it to a horizontal one or a line chart and scatter plot and things like that. Now, obviously, the data is quite simple here, but if you had much more complex data set, it might be interesting to play around with these different graphing styles.
Mm-hmm.
And you can rename the axes if you have to. So that's a pretty exciting feature there. All right, so now we know that one of these differentiating groups between this group of friends is that half of them are Android users and half of them are iOS users.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing we thought to play around with was, can Gemini differentiate this group of people based on their hobbies, the similarities of hobbies within the iOS groups or within the Android folks?
So you're already going in biased, assuming that the hobbies are going to be different, and the differentiation factor is going to be their operating system.
Yeah, yes. Is that possible? Because Gemini could have said, they're all the same. It's completely mixed. There's no common features or anything like that. But I'm trying to set a parameter of, can I generate two different events, one that's going to entertain the iOS and one that's going to entertain the Android users. Mm-hmm. And so, look at this. They actually came up with something. So now for the iOS users, they say photography workshop and food tasting event would be the most inclusive for this group because it's combining the top two hobbies of iOS users. And to be honest, this makes a lot of sense with what we see about the iPhone users. They're taking selfies with their food, right?
Yeah.
So they're photographers and they like to take pictures of their food a lot. And what's cool is that we've added a whole element with it by asking for a social media post example social media post to encourage engagement in this activity.
Yeah, advertise for participation.
Exactly. So it's like calling on all iOS users. Join us for a photography workshop and food tasting event. Learn how to capture stunning food photos and indulge in delicious cuisine. Sign up now and elevate your photography skills. Hashtag iOS photography. So that they even give some of the hashtags to use.
Yeah, you're basically furthering the divide between the blue bubble and the green bubble.
Yeah, exactly. And also, The next thing they say is travel and photography. Sorry.
Culture exchange.
Yeah, travel, photography, and culture exchange. This is another very popular thing for these iOS users. And so that's pretty cool.
So iOS equals to food pics.
Food pics, travel, and photography. Not foot pics, but food pics. Travel and photography expeditions. All right, so what do they have for us Android users here? Oh, look at that. That's perfect, just like me. Hiking and camping adventures with anime under the stars. So obviously now we have, they're seeing that these Android users like hiking, but also they like their anime as well and their cartoons at night. So you're having this combination of these two events where you could have a nice day trip with a scenic hike location, followed by an evening popular watching of a popular anime. So why don't you read the social media post for these Android users?
Android users unite. Get ready for a hiking and camping adventure with anime under the stars. Explore nature by day and enjoy your favorite anime under the night sky. Don't miss out on this epic adventure. Hashtag Android, hashtag hiking, hashtag anime.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. And the second category they have is mobile gaming tournament and cosplay contest. So they're really saying that these Android users are less about taking pictures of food.
Food pics.
Yeah, and they're more about playing games and dressing up as an anime and all these other things, which is quite interesting.
Well, this is again not representing all iOS and Android users, but rather representing what's presented in this mock data.
Yeah, that's the important part of this whole thing is that it's taking the data set that was generated and creating these trends. So if you have your own set of data, then you're going to have a complete different organization and things like that. And you might have things that are able to differentiate even more. And so this is quite interesting. But now, so now that we've found things that could be different between the group, one thing we wanted to do was actually figure out a visual representation of their relationships to everybody. So we asked Gemini to generate a relationship tree from the attached spreadsheet using the relationship to others column, and can it take the text and make a visual representation of the image, of the data. And so, ooh, look at this. So this is pretty cool because this is our relationship tree here that was generated. And as we mentioned, Emily is the central focus point of this relationship. And it's talking about all the different branches that are going out from her. And you're getting a really cool visualization of these different relationships.
Yeah, so it seems like Emily's friends, they operate in small pockets. So she has small cliques.
Yeah, exactly. They're in group. And then her partner has a group here. And so her partner has a certain group of friends. And then other ones are meeting through music festivals, and they're meeting through yoga classes together and shared events and stuff like that. And so while they don't all know each other, we got some information about some of their commonalities here, and we can get a visual representation of this tree, of these relationships, which is pretty cool.
And there's like no dominant activity that a majority of people share. They kind of just all evenly spread out through different ways of knowing Emily.
Yeah, exactly. So one thing is, one of the most challenging things is somebody is having to organize, like let's say a birthday party for Emily, but they're tasked with inviting all of these friends, and they're trying to create an event that's entertaining for everybody as much as possible. And so then we asked Gemini if they could help us out with that. Because and so, you know, we put in the question, we put in the prompt saying that I'm responsible for organizing a birthday party, and I must
for Emily Davis.
Yeah, particularly for her, and I want to make an itinerary for the big celebration that's going to include all 25 of the individuals on the sheet. Please analyze their hobbies and come up with an event plan that will entertain Emily and her guests. And so then you can see here that it goes through this analysis and it's coming up with a morning, afternoon, and evening plan, which is pretty cool because it's taking into account everybody's hobbies and trying to give us something that's going to be able to be entertaining for everybody.
Little bit for everything.
Yeah, a little bit of everything, for something for everybody here. So like they're suggesting a hike and a picnic to start off because a lot of people were enjoying hiking and being outside in nature.
Followed by a picnic lunch to cater to the most popular hobbies.
Yes, which was the hiking, running, outdoor adventures, and eating.
Food pics for the iOS users.
Yes, exactly. And you can see that in the afternoon, we start to get into some kind of a creative workshop because you've got activities like painting, photography, playing guitar, music. So this group of friends is very engaged in their hands and doing things.
Artistic
Their
things.
artistic group. Yep. And you can even and they're also physically active. There was a lot of yoga. They met each other in yoga class.
Yeah, at this point, I already know what Ryan is going to do.
Yeah.
You're going to find him sleeping, taking a nap on the bench.
Yeah, so you need a good place for me to take a nap.
He's going to skip yoga for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And then in the end, there's you can conclude it with dinner and dancing to cater the interest of all, because a lot of people have music and socialization interests.
Dancing to the caterer?
Yeah, so I thought the caterers were dancing. And so you can celebrate Emily's birthday in this fashion. And I mean, something like this, you can imagine we just generated some random data set. But if you're a wedding planner or you have to plan a wedding and you have this big spreadsheet of all these different dietary restrictions and who sits with who and
who doesn't want to sit with
who doesn't want to sit with who.
Yeah, so like that relationship chart you show, I imagine could be like seating arrangement for a wedding. And all you need to do is in the original sheet of data in that relationship to others column, instead of saying, oh, I know Emily through Jackson, you can say, oh, this person absolutely cannot sit with Jackson.
Yeah, exactly. And you would have your seating arrangements based on
this is practically a wedding seating arrangement.
Yeah, this looks like a seating arrangement chart here. And then, you can go through and ask for different ways to organize it and stuff like that. Look, here are all the tables surrounding the bride and groom.
Yeah, so this is the question to the audience. Have you guys tried Google Sheet in Gemini? I guess only Gemini Advanced has this feature, right?
Yeah, but they're still offering 2 free months.
Yeah.
To test out Gemini Advanced, and I definitely highly recommend testing it out. And you can always cancel before they start charging. And right now it's about $20 a month that they're going to be charging this.
And answer this question: if you have a wedding to plan, will you consider using Gemini Advanced to facilitate your wedding planning?
Yeah, that would be a good question to ask. And then hopefully next week or in the future, we're going to go explore more about integrating the documents other than the Excel spreadsheets and how we can integrate PDFs.
Yes, I was going to say the favorite 3-letter words.
Yes, I love being able to upload a PDF of a scientific paper and have it summarize it for me.
Or iOS menu.
Yes, oh yes, if you or manuals. Let's say that you have you need a manual. You have an electronic manual for your refrigerator or something like that, and something goes wrong. You have to sit there and sift through it. Well, you can upload the manual into Google Advanced just by uploading the document, and then say, oh, I'm having an issue with this alert. What does this document tell you I should do? So rather than having to find it on your own, you can have this find it for you. And so that's something we'll get into more details with next week.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks very much. And I hope you enjoyed learning some more about how to use Google Gemini with your Excel spreadsheets.
See you guys next
Yeah,
time.
see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.